Well, here I am. I'm gonna paint a fairy that is inspired by Alice in Bossa Nova. This here is a little bit of chocolate. Anyway, I got it somewhat realistic to her shape. She has an excellent combination of hard work and genetics. Um, just kind of feeling out my freedom here with this painting. I have the freedom in life. I can do whatever I want, and also I have the freedom in this painting to be very fast and very playful. And I hope that you can see that and hang out with me while we do this thing. And I think I'll just go in black and white because I think it's just, you can do everything in black and white. I just, more and more, I feel like, and here I am painting her perfect. But here, more and more, I just feel like you could do everything in black and white. I feel like, why not? Why not? You can add any colors you want, sure. Sometimes I'll paint a black and white painting and then add color later. But, having that dynamic is really cool. But also I've wanted to have like really realistic skin tones. So, yeah, you can't really add black to that. So, yeah, whatever. Do whatever you want, as usual. I'm just painting and bullshitting. But, yeah, I feel in a lot of ways like this is representative of where I'm at right now. I want to be free. I want to feel good. And there's this sense of, well, paint, Jody, so that you can stop fixating on stupid things and just make something really nice, And so that's what I'm doing here. Just giving myself that freedom to just like, hey, I'm gonna paint something cool. I'm gonna paint something nice. And what's weird too is like normally I save black. Black is like my dessert. It is very absolute. Black is very absolute. And so here I'm doing black, which is interesting and fun. So yeah, we have a couple different wing kind of situations here. The arm kind of goes down right here, and then the wing goes off like that. And then there is another wing going from the shoulder blades over here. And it's very sad. Recently, the last Hildebrandt brother passed away, and those guys are, if I can ever be anywhere near their expertise, their beauty, I will. And I think maybe I've mentioned this in another painting, but I used to think that I needed to sort of graduate into painting oil, but now I don't. I don't think that's necessary because of the Hildebrands. If I can ever be as good as the Hildebrands in my lifetime, and they tried oil and it was not something that they pursued or something that they liked. And so I think I am fine without oil. And I'm just like laying down paint here. And I learned actually a lot from my son. He got really into design. He's still into design, 3D design, but about sort of the tertiary and there's a point, and I really like this concept of, and my art early on was every square inch just needs to be just really used. Now I'm a little more hesitant about that. I think some of the I think some needs to be fading out, and that's what you would see in a photograph. You would see that. You would see, you're focused on something, or the subject is moving, and you're trying to follow them with your camera, and you're focused on it, and yet you cannot see, what exactly is in the background, and I think that's really cool. That looks pretty cool. And so here we have sort of this initial phase of this fairy, and whatnot, and so here we have the background. To me, is such that I'm gonna grab a spray bottle and just give it a spray and do some watercolor. So, kind of in this area, I'm just like, move the camera a little bit. So, so you can see here, I'm just being playful. And this is, in the great spirit of Bob Ross and art therapy and all the things. I'm just being playful. I'm tempted here to use my hand, but I kind of want to stay with you and not move to the sink. I'm just going to maybe let it fade out. Maybe just kind of in this corner here. Normally I don't sign paintings, but maybe I'll sign this one. Sometimes I kind of own it. I'm like, what, that one is done, and I sign it. Other times I'm like, well, maybe it's not quite so good, you know what I mean? Maybe, and even though it's been sitting on my, or even if it's been in an art show, even then I'm just like, that could get better. That could get a lot better. And maybe that's on me, I was like, just move on with it, accept it, love it, and call it good. But also, I don't really necessarily want to change in that I'm certainly not done. Like this canvas, like myself, is not done. So, in some ways, like all of my paintings are just potential. I could do more. I could do more to them. I could make them all better. And that's an interesting feeling, I guess, as Fred Rogers would say, like, it's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, you know what I mean? And so, I think, we're getting somewhere here. I have to go over here on this part of the canvas, which is just requiring more water. So we just put a little more water down and splash it around, I've been doing a combination of acrylic and watercolors for quite some time, because anytime it gets where it's too thick or it just needs to be spread a little bit, just throw it on a little water. Sometimes after a long night, I'll have like a tiny bit of that particular color for skin, and I just need to like spread it a little bit, or I need it in a little bit further of a spot, and I'll just have to spit on whatever I'm. In this case, I have a yogurt container. That's usually how I do it, is a yogurt container. I have black and I have white, and I'm pretty much about ready for white. Okay, and that means that I will kind of wipe my brush on the side of the canvas here, and then and then dip it in the white. And this is just laying down paint, to cover those initial pencil marks. It is really fun to go into a painting with no pencil, but I hardly ever do that anymore. It is super playful, it is super fun, but it is great to have a plan. And so yeah, having a few pencil marks, to kind of, I don't know, it doesn't matter, it really doesn't. I've had loving paintings either way, whatever. Here I'm just laying down some water. Here I'm laying down some white paint because I'm not really gonna worry right now about shading or about just filling in this shape. I'm just trusting and filling in this shape. And also, this is one of those paintings that maybe will have texture, that maybe I want it to have thick paint here and there. I want it to be, hey, this is one session. This fairy just came alive very quickly, very quickly. And so many of my paintings are guided by how much paint I have. And in this situation, I have quite a lot. So I have been pretty inspired also by those sort of thick paintings. And that's what we're doing here. We're just laying some thick paint upon the canvas. And it's interesting, because there's so many different styles of painting, and in this one I am really not knowing where this is going. And so we're not like, having this photo, which is really fun. It is fun to like have this photo to like go off of. In this one I don't, and so it's like, I kind of do, but kind of don't. I kind of have some ideas, but not too much. And it's interesting because, not really sure, where am I going? And I think that's part of the fun with painting, is like sometimes you really don't have any idea. So here we are, and I'm just still painting with you, and it's like this is maybe one of those ones that is like, it doesn't ever feel done. And again, those paintings that I just never sell, or I never, and I just like, here, this is me on that day, and it doesn't look done at all. And it's like somebody who started a tattoo and then couldn't afford to keep going, and it's like kind of sad, it is, but isn't that where we're at? Isn't that how we exist, and how it function as a constant state of unknowing and undecided, undetermined, states of both happiness and sorrow. And so, you just don't know. You don't know. What tomorrow may bring, how you're going to feel, what kind of loss you may experience. You don't really know. I don't know. Right? I don't want to say, oh, who cares, you know, deal with it, live in the present, you got this. Because it's hard as hell. I mean, it's fucking terrifying, you know, so. I mean, this fairy certainly understands that, you know. And in this, am I really going after, like, anatomy and physiology per se? Partly, you know, partly. Because I have this kind of idea that, well, that's not the way her butt. I have this idea of sort of what's a real, and then I have, and then, like, let's just cover up some of these mistakes here with black hair. You know, just some black. And she's a lovely fairy, and she could be like an angel too. I mean, we could just be dealing with an angel right now, like an angel of light. You can see, like, she's kind of like on the darkness. So yeah, angel. I should just, forget about the idea of her being a fairy. She's clearly an angel, right? And maybe that's what I need, you know, maybe that's all it is. It's like, girl, you just need your angel. And sometimes I guess we just feel like we don't want to ask for that angel. But you know, here I am. I'm begging her. I'm like, girl, you could not have come at a better time than now, Angel Bear. And I'm like, kind of desperate, right? Because it's winter, and there's not enough sun. I feel like it's kind of odd. I mean, because we've sort of evolved as a species, and I mean, it's different because here we are, you know, just really busting ass in the winter time in the north, right? And that was not always historically the case, you know, that was not the way it was done. So I feel like, you know, very tired, very achy, you know, and you just kind of need to take it easy and whatnot. And then you can't, you know, you gotta do the modern thing. You gotta pay the bills, or, you know, just leave the house when it's still dark, and then get home when it's still dark, and just, you know, do all the things, you know, that you do to pay the bills. And I don't know, it's kind of hard. Everybody around, you know, they have a hard time sometimes. Yeah, not everybody. You know, you know, no, but you know, people get depressed and they get sad, they're sorrowful, and so maybe I'll just call on my angel here, you know, just and she's coming forth. She's just like, yeah, sure, I'll be around. Yeah, maybe it's just a real quickie, or maybe I'll come back to her at some point. But you call on your angel and you just say, hey, I need your help, sister. I just need your help. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, just to have that ability to paint something from nothing and say, hey, this is what represents me right now, you know, great. It happens to represent me at this moment and in time, and it's fun to have that feeling of like comfort and distraction. And we do have more paint, and I usually just sort of roll with that for a while, just how much paint there is. So much, of my paintings have been guided by, oh, there's more paint to be, and so that would determine the end of the session is, oh, well, now you're finally out of paint, so now you can go to the bathroom or whatever. And there's been some very, very late night sessions in the painting. Ah, man, that's terrible. Ah. But as of late, I've been not as painting as I maybe ought to, but I don't know. There's nothing really that one ought to do or not ought to do, I suppose. There's always something, always engaging in something. And overall, I do have faith that, I'm being looked after and taken care of. And maybe it's this angel here, you never know. Maybe, make that a bit more interesting. Maybe bring some of this water over here. And you have this idea of, well, now I have an angel that's looking after me. And maybe it's not a conventional angel, maybe it's just, some sort of spirit that you hope will give you a moment of love and encouragement. And I'm just laying down like an awful lot of paint because just like I said, I do feel sort of an inspiration with these mega paints, very thick paints. So I'm just laying down an awful lot of paint here. And then sort of re-going through this right here, there's a butt here. And you have this ability then to imagine what I'm imagining, which is being protected by this great angel. And she is like a freedom angel. She is giving you this hope that this is not the end. And that hope is on the way. And one, no big deal as far as you needing help and having an angel come help is okay. You can do that. It is within your rights to ask for that angel. All right. There we go.